This video is an introduction to using the Custom Dashboard report. This report allows you to create a layout of widgets for a highly customized view of various kinds of sales or pickup data. It is under Reports, Custom Dashboard Report, and to create a dashboard, click Create New. First thing I'll do is give it a name. I'll call it Sales. Next, you have this array of gray boxes. You will align your widgets to these boxes. You can change various things about the layout of the boxes here. So width adds more boxes this way. Height adds more boxes that way. And then you can change spacing or make them taller or shorter. And I'll leave it like this for now. To add a widget, click Add Widget. The first thing to set about the widget is the bounds. First, click one gray box, and then drag around until you have the bounds you want, and then click again. Now this modal will appear. Select the widget type. I'll select Sales for Time Period. We get a preview of the widget on the screen. These buttons here allow us to move the modal to one side or the other, or the center, if we want to get a better view of the widget preview. Every widget has a set of parameters that control how and what the widget displays. Almost all widgets have a title option. I'll set this to Sales Today. Another common parameter is location, which lists out each store location and then has an option for all locations. I'll select downtown, and the widget preview will update live as we change these parameters. Most widgets have these two groups of parameters, start date and end date and sales set. I'll demonstrate these with another widget and just leave them as they are right now. With all widget parameters set the way we want to, click Save. Now let's add another widget. I'll select Sales by Category Chart. If we notice that the bounds we selected don't work well for the widget, we can change the bounds for existing widgets by clicking Edit Bounds here. Now we can edit the bounds with these inputs, or we can click Select Bounds, and we can click and then drag as before. And then once we have the bounds we want, we can either click Done, or if we want to continue editing the widget, we can click Back. I'll set the title to 3-month category sales, and the location to downtown, and I'll have it sort by sales. Next, I'll set the start and end date parameters. Click Expand, and now we can see the parameters for setting the start and end date. Start and end dates have a time period type, which is either day, month, or year. I'll select month. And then with start and end date, I can select which day, month, or year relative to the current day, month, or year I want to use. So it defaults to current, so that means that the time range will cover the current month. And so this will change as time goes on. So the current month is May, but when it turns to June, this will start pulling sales data from June. So I want this to cover 3 months, so I'll start it at a past month, and I'll set it to 2 months in the past. And the reason I'm doing 2 instead of 3 is that it's including the current month. So 2 months ago is March. So March, April, May is 3 months. I can see that in this little description is a verbal description of the date range. The top row shows the relatively assigned dates, and the bottom row shows what these relatively assigned dates currently turn out to be. So it shows March to May, and then yeah, this range will update as time goes on. So when it becomes June, this range will be April to June. And there's also the option to set either the start or end date to a fixed date. So I could select fixed date and say start the range on March 9th, and then it would stay at March 9th no matter what the current day is, and then the same thing with end date as well. So I'll change this back to 2 months ago to the current month. Now I will also set the sales set. This group of parameters allows you to control which items and what kind of sales are going into the computation for this widget. For this widget, I like to exclude roundup donations. So I'll make sure this is set to all but these categories. I'll click add, and then I'll find the donations category. And I'll also set it to include returns and refunds. And now with all these parameters set, I'll click save. Next, I'll create a sales by cashier widget. I'll select sort by sales, and I'll set the location to downtown. And I'll also set the sales by cashier today. And the start and end date range defaults to the current day, so I'll leave that as it is. And I'll leave sales set as it is, so I'll hold on with that, click save. Now I'll add a goal widget. Here I'll select progress and goals set in dashboard. There are options to view goals that you set in the sales goal page under point of sale reports, but I'll cover that in a later video. So for now, I'll select the set in dashboard option. So I'll select sales for downtown and for the month and compare to a goal of 500. And I'll click save. So when your dashboard is all set up, click save. From this page, we can either go back to editing the dashboard, or we can click view to look at the dashboard without all the editing options. And to update the dashboard with the latest data, click refresh report. And that is the basics of using the custom dashboard report.